Kicking it off. Are we fast? Yes, we are. That's called a loss. That's a repeat. Back to the min. Yeah, he does pretty much everything wrong. He's quite extraordinary. And you know, right or wrong in blackjack is not a matter of opinion. I mean, if you're winning consistently, then you're probably doing it right. If you're losing consistently the way he does, you're probably doing it wrong. It's really that simple. It's not about sort of like, well, that's just your opinion. You know, you just watch him, and he is entirely dependent on winning more bets than he loses, and that just does not work. So what happened then? That must be 75, I guess. That's 1-2. That'll do. Whenever I say that, I think of that wonderful movie, Babe, the talking pig. That'll do, pig. What happened then? We went all sort of screwy. We're supposed to be fast. Come on. Double for the tie. +1. 1-2. Uh-oh. 3-4. Well, that's already a turnaround, so we don't touch it. Good enough. Double for the loss. Repeat. Double for the loss. 1-2. Oops. Let's not be greedy. Now let's be greedy. No, not be greedy. Never be greedy. Quite seriously. I mean, I'm just being flippant, but never, ever let greed get hold of you. Double for the tie. +1. Plus another one. Double for the tie, 100 or less. Oh, duh. 2-3. 5-6. This is no good. 11-6. We got to go to the banker. All right, so now we're going to be 5-7 to cover the commish. There it is. And now we're stuck with the flipping banker, which I hate to be. But you've got to follow the rules. Uh-oh. All right, that's a repeat. That's a 1-3. 1-2-3. Now we're on 4-5. Last bet on the bank, maybe. Nope. Back to the min. Two, three. Oh, duh. 5-6 to player because we're not in four figures yet. And we're out. And we didn't have to pay commission. Isn't that lovely? Double for the loss. 1-2. Come on then. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm getting a bit sort of behind here. That's a turnaround, so we leave it alone. There we are. Okay, so now this is the thing that's always worth looking at, and I know if you've been with me through a few of these, and forgive me for repeating myself, but 19 wins and 22 losses, and we've got 1,500 in the kitty. We've made a profit of 1,500 in spite of the fact that we're behind. And King Sirasani, the goat, um, only wins when he wins more bets than he loses. That's absolutely, that's it. That game over, you know. And the same applies to Degen, Dolt, and all the others, Vegas Matt, and so on and so on, because they're all committed to the idea of random betting, not because they know it's a good idea, but because they know it puts money in their back pocket. If they start showing people how to win, then they'll be kicked out of the casinos. It's that simple. So, you know, that's how it goes. Um, so they just play like idiots and then collect the money from Moogle at the end of the day or the end of the week or the end of the month or whatever the hell it is. 1, 2. See, we're in the danger. Oh no, we just came out of the danger. But this is the thing to watch out for: is the falling 5 bets behind. Um, what was that? Was that a 200? It was, wasn't it? Giddy giddy. Back to the min. +1. 50, 51. 2, 3. Oh dear. 5, 6. I don't run away from player until we get the next bet is going to be 4 figures. 5, 6. Damn it. 11, 6. So we could run away from this because we have fallen behind. It's not looking good, so I will run away from it. And then it becomes 11, 12 on player. On the next one, I never bet on banker first out of the shoe. So it's going to be 11, 12. We've got to save this one first. And then go get another one. I think what we'll do is we'll call it 2, 3 in 500s. Oh, surprise. Look at that. Okay, so now we're back to the minimum. +1. 51. Repeat. It's really slow, isn't it? It might be my internet. 1, 2. Of course, whenever I check the speed, it's racing along, but you know, might just be an overloaded server on the other end. 3, 4. Oh dear. 7, 8. Well done, player. Just in time. Back to the min. Yeah, I will always play longer on player than on banker. 3 losses and I'm out of banker, whereas as long as the next, you know, the bet doesn't exceed 4 figures, then I won't hop. It's that simple. I mean, you know, I figure showing is better than telling. So I'm sort of trying to do a little bit of a mixture of both, but it really is the simplest strategy in the world. It's just so brainless, but not lacking in brain. Does that make sense? No, it doesn't. Oh well. That looks like 2-3 to me. 1-2-3. 5-6. Okay. 11-6, and we have to run to the bank. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh boy. 17-20 to cover commission and stuff. Damn it. 17-20. 37. So basically it's 4-4 now. Damn it. So it's going to have to be 8-10, I believe. Hate betting on banker. And remember, the cards are not affected by big bets. Doesn't make any difference to them at all, obviously. And it doesn't change probabilities, possibilities. Every time, every bet is a negative expectation, blah, 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 blah. So that's 8-10, right? It's not going well, is it? Time to run away from this one, too. So it's 18-20. Next bet is 2,000 on player. I haven't had a shitty one like this in a while. All right. Getting into extremely long grass, so we must be about to get a player win, right? Oh, look at that. Okay, so the session balance is 5,814 minutes. I'll play on for a bit. And yeah, you folks out there, once in a while, you're going to tell me, hey, you can't go back to a $25 bet after betting 20,000. And honestly, it doesn't matter. It's just a waste of time to completely back out of a shoe and start a new one just because of the sort of the house imposed table limits. We don't do table limits here. We just worry about the house limit, which is 50,000. What was that? That was one of those nasty time wasting ties. Okay, 51. Repeat it. 1, 2. It's really slow, isn't it, today? All right, back to the min. That was a loss. How dare you? 1, 2. That's a turnaround, so we don't touch it. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. A lot of bloody ties. I hate them. I really do. 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There it is. All right, so we're at 6,016 minutes. I think I'm going to run away from this one now. I'm bored. Sorry. Okay, I'm stopping the clock just to do a little bit of paperwork here. All right, so I'll pull up the individual shoes in a moment, but excuse me. Um, yeah, 6,075 in six in. No, I put 9 minutes. Then that's entirely wrong. It's 16 minutes. I don't know why I typed that. Oh, because I was looking at this and got distracted. Sorry about that. But anyway, I'll pull up the individual shoes in just a moment. But the question is, if you're looking at this whole sort of tactic, this strategy, this whole way of doing things, methodology, whatever you want to call it, as a business proposition, then if you can make $6,000 in an hour or so, then you're doing well. And here we've made 6,075 in 16 minutes, not 9 minutes. And to the likes of Dana White and Steve Will Do It and those mad people on YouTube, the guys who fling money all over the place and flush it down the toilet, set it on fire, and otherwise dispose of it, fling it into the wind. They can all do that because they've got big bucks coming from Moogle. But we can't do that, and we're businesslike. We're not in this for fun. We're in it for profit. And then you can use the profit to pay for fun somewhere else. Because I got to tell you, Las Vegas is not a whole lot of fun. Nevada is not a whole lot of fun. There's way too much destruction being caused by, sort of too much access to gambling. People able to basically use whatever money they can lay their hands on. They can steal it, borrow it, sort of deprive their family of the roof over their heads and the clothes on their back and the food in their belly and so on, in order to feed their habit. And that's just wrong. It's just wrong. But anyway, and this is one of those things where people will say, well, that's just your opinion. And of course, it's not my opinion. It's, well, it is my opinion, but it also happens to be common sense. There is no way that gambling can be justified as a boon to society, like, for instance, bread making, or car building, or house building, or anything else. Those are things, or even giving people holidays. Sort of like holidays in wherever, Disneyland or whatever. There's something positive comes out of that, and it's a family event, and it's blah 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 blah. But anyway, that's me just rabbiting on as usual. So I'll correct my mistake here, and then I'll pull up shoe number 1830. All right, so here's shoe number 1830. My God, I'm closing in on 2,000 of these bloody things now. Mind you, I do enjoy it. I have to admit I do enjoy it. 16th of September, Tuesday, and we're on number 1830, and it's got 33B and 32P and 5T. How many ties came before we ran away? All of them. All right, so we had plus 4680 divided by 21. Well, I shouldn't be doing this while you're hanging on, should I? Let me come back in a minute. All right, so this is one of those situations where, because we lost a lot more than we won, we won 21 and we lost 28. We've got a situation where the average win was 223, the average loss was 146. Average win value over average loss value is 153%, which is really solid. That's very good indeed. But we were 7 bets behind, so it didn't help us very much. The way it comes out is we won 580 on total action of 8,780. So we won 6.6% of our action. The actual value was 7 losses, 7 more losses than wins. So that's -7 over 54 bets altogether. And that's -13%. So we were, by winning more when we won than we lost when we lost, we were able to turn a house edge of 13% against us. Alexa, stop. 13% against us, which is about 10 times expectation. to a player edge of 6.6%, but 580 is, no, that's just not good enough. So we'll move on to the next one. All right, so clearly, as we can see from the shoe balance on the left-hand side, not a happy experience, this one. Average win is 504, average loss is 1,618, which means that the average win over the average loss was 32%, which obviously we had to escape from. The loss of 14,780 was on total action of 20,820, which makes it a loss of 71% of total action, the sum total of all bets. The actual value, flat betting, was -5 over 17. That's how many bets there were totally. Well, actually 21. So anyway, close enough. -29%. The most important thing is it was substantially less than, or not as bad as the 71%. So sort of 29%ish against us, and we managed to lose 71%. So that's not something to be happy and proud of. So we'll move right along to the resolution, the very quick turnaround that came, and it's so important to stress that this is a business proposition, so it has to be backed. You have to have capital in order to be able to, sort of get decent return on your investment. You can't have a small amount of money. You can't sort of, but have, let's say a McDonald's franchise costs $1 million, to start a new business. Well, you've got to put $1 million down, and then it'll take you 2 or 3 years to recover your $1 million in net profits, and then after that, it's gravy all the way. They don't do gravy in McDonald's, do they? No, they don't. But anyway, you have to put money out, and this is what these guys on YouTube are doing, the Vegas Mats and so on. They're throwing money away like mad things. Vegas Matt, I think he just had a huge win on a slot machine of like nearly $250,000. So that's improved his numbers for the year. But basically, he's looking at a situation where he's to the point where he had that silly jackpot, which I would have been delighted with, but of course I never play slot machines, not since they took out the $1 silver dollar Indian heads many, many years ago in Las Vegas. I've just been not interested in any of these electronic crappy things. Used to like to play video poker, but only with blackjack profits. So if I won 300 or 400 on blackjack, I'd put $20 into a video poker machine just for the fun of it. Sometimes even into an electronic roulette machine. I'd lose that, and that'd be that. So long as I walked out of the house, out of the casino, that is, with a profit, I didn't too much care. But so the whole point is you've got to have a shitload of money behind you, and you've got to believe in what you're doing. You've got to believe in the strategy, and that's the key to all of these things. So, where are we? We're looking at number 1832 coming up next. This one I can walk away from. I don't know why I've kept you looking at that for so long. It's really ugly, isn't it? All right, so this, of course, is what a turnaround looks like, and I don't really have to do much scribbling down here. We won 4 bets, total of 21,100, and we lost 6, total loss 825. So we're looking at obviously bang, bang, bang. We turned around, and you have to believe. That's the thing. You must believe, and as long as you follow the rules consistently. Don't think of it as fun and games, entertainment, excitement, any of those things. This is work. And sometimes you have to work harder than others. All this crap, this bullshit that they put out on the YouTube gambling channels, sort of how exciting it is and what fun it is to lose $100,000 or whatever. And the thrill. And I mean, there was one guy in one video was talking about how when I put out a really big bet, I get a hard on. Well, you're pathetic. Is all I can say to that. if that's what it takes, I'd rather go for a blue pill than a $5,000 bet on something that is basically a negative expectation. You have to be an idiot to put any money down against a proposition that's negative expectation. But if you do it strategically, tactically, systematically, smartly, the way pattern betting will have you do it, then you have a chance. No guarantees. I never offer guarantees. I'm not allowed to. YouTube and others would cut me off. But I'm just saying to you, hey, treat it like a business. Take it very, very seriously indeed. Don't boast like John Sirasani. Vegas Matt, I must admit, is the most dignified. He and his crew are the most dignified of the whole bunch who are on YouTube, and I think that's a big part of why they are as successful as they are. I think I heard one F-bomb once in all the hours that I've spent tracking and analysing and just generally soaking up Vegas Matt's content. And I think EJ dropped an F-bomb just once, and Vegas Matt hardly ever swears. He has some very strange expressions which are kind of corruptions of cliches, so he sort of monkeys with them a bit, and I approve of that because I do it all the time. An episode effort must be right? But no, I mean, they are the most dignified and sensible, and I just hate what they're doing. It's wrong. They are peddling a very dangerous drug, and what I'm trying to do, instead of doing what lots of people do and sort of say, okay, well, let's just make it illegal. Well, then what you do is you give it a sort of a special cachet, which makes it even more attractive to people who are bent on self-harm. So what you have to do is try and show people, look, this is why you've got no chance if you do what you're doing, and there are better things to spend your money on. That's basically what I'm trying to say. So anyway, back later. Okay, yeah, just to do the final numbers on this last one. Average win was 5,275. Average loss was 138. So that makes the average win over average loss a silly amount of percentage advantage to the win value, 3,822% to be precise. So that's a bit ridiculous, but it's what it takes, Let's see now. What am I looking at here? This is the last one. It's 3,822%. We had a 21,100 over 21,925 total action, which gave us a player edge of 96%. For that particular, for this last one, 1832, the actual value, flat betting, was +2 over 11, which is +18% player edge. But it gets okay. So your response to this particular shoe, this result that you see in front of you, could quite reasonably be, well, this is ridiculous. There's just no way a casual weekend recreational punter could possibly afford bets like this. And of course, that's absolutely true. And that's the whole point of what I've been saying in all of these demos. I mean, God knows how many I've got on YouTube now, on the Practice Makes Profit channel. And it's not a gambling promotion channel. It's not anything other than almost a plea to people who are tempted to gamble like these idiots on YouTube to think again, because these kinds of bets, what you're looking at here, what you've seen, if you stayed with me through the video that just ended, through the demo that just ended, those kinds of bets are what it takes. And nobody can afford that unless they have a huge amount of money behind them and unless they're taking these games very seriously indeed. It's not fun. It's not excitement. It's not thrills. It's not free or complimentary cocktails. It's not any of the shit that the smoke screen that the casinos blow at us. It's a business proposition, and it is not for the faint of heart or light of wallet. That's all I'm trying to say in all of these demos. And what I think is particularly interesting is in all of these things is, especially when there's been a couple of gags, as I call them, getting up and going, just walking away from a shoe and saying, hey, screw that. I'm not sticking around for any more punishment. I'm not bending over for a bad run. Is that, when you add up the numbers at the very end, and I'll put it into the edit when I'm done, but we're looking at action of in the area of 50,000. We won 6,025 on action of 50,000, and that's a 12% win percent, a hold, as the casinos like to call it. They talk about their win at the end of a game, a session, a shift, if you like. It all depends. And at the end of the month, at the end of the quarter, at the end of the year, they say, well, okay, total churn, as some of them call it, the sum of all bets won or lost is X amount, and this is our win, this is our hold, and that's how they do it. And so we're looking at 12%, and funnily enough, the actual value, if you take the number of losses and the number of wins, you end up with 10 more losses than wins in 82 hands. 10 divided by 82 to get the actual value is, guess how much? Minus 12%. So when these jokers like John Sirasani claim that they're brilliant, that they're gifted, that they're great, when they make a profit, when they win more bets than they lose, they are mad. They're completely bonkers, because those guys go to bits when they lose more bets than they win. But we've just had 10 more losses than wins, and we've come out of it with 6,025 profit on about 50,000 in total action, 12%. I mean, come on. Anyway, that's enough. Talk to you next time.